we can open your ChatGPT. Let's Yeah, so that you are able to know like what's really going on and how to actually handle these questions. So let me can I open ChatGPT on a typical browser or just here? Okay. So yeah, so okay, so ChatGPT, that's the first thing. Yeah, so that's the first thing, the ChatGPT. Yeah, so let me show. Okay, you log in. Let's log in. I'm assuming you already have an account. Okay, it's okay. Yeah, so let's log in. Yeah, so it's still on. So one of the most fundamental tools when it comes to being able to actually go through everything. I was actually explaining you have to first of all understand what's really going on so that every time you find yourself in a certain situation, you're able to maneuver it. Majority of these platforms on Outlier, I'm trying to click and open where we were. Maybe yeah, so majority of these companies, we have like, let's say, big tech companies that are worth trillions of dollars. We are talking about Apple. We're talking about like big tech companies, and so from time to time they want to be able to test such some they want to run more of a case study. And so if you open this project right here, if we are to open this project right here, you're going to see this is phonics. So one thing one thing you have to do, the first step you have to do, is go through the project details. That is before you even click start tasking. So you go and you can see this is a good project because you're earning up to $67 per task. So if you're able, and the goal also is not just tasking, because you might be like, okay, you want to task so that you get that money right away, but the main goal is to be included in that project all through. Yes, so to be included with to be included in these projects all through. I'll give you an example. So Phoenix might be running this project for the next 6 weeks, right? They have different models. So it might be Phoenix testing these, it might be something else testing these, and then you just don't want to do it so that you get this. This is like, you can make so much money compared to just one task. So the goal is every time you're advancing, they include you in the next project. So the first thing you do when you find an assignment as such, the first thing is go to project details. The first thing is project details. So when you go here, in many times you are going to see even courses right here, because now with time, the more you guys are working together, maybe the first project you did, they paid you really well, so now they are like, okay, this person is in a way understanding all this, so let's send him some courses. So the first thing is also checking out if they have some courses for you. And here you can see we have some short course that has been put here, so that before we start tasking, we know exactly what you are going to do, right? You don't go and freestyle. Of course you do feel quite. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So that you the first thing you have to know is the first thing that you actually have to know is that you have to go to those projects and make sure that you have looked for the resources that are available. And one of the biggest resources would be definitely the courses that they can give you. So before you take such an assignment, you have to look at what do they have. At times, they might even have the webinars, because the webinars are quite of a bigger deal. So most people, how how they fumble these accounts, because getting an account is not a big deal. Maintaining an account is where the whole thing is. So most people, when they get these accounts, they rush into tasking, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is you see this amount, this is a good amount and everything." Because I can see you have really done good, but also now looking at everything, so you have to come and check out courses. So if you click on our course, also here you can even check webinars, so that if there's a webinar that is upcoming, you make sure you join it. So you can see here there are no live webinars. So you can see these are okay for other tasks, right? Yeah, so you have to join that at some point and just listen. So when you find the webinars, when you find, and at times you also have to go to history, because you can have these accounts for so long to a point that you have forgotten that you once did this project. So you can always go check on history and see what yeah. So we're going to start with, before the course, let's go through the project guidelines. Let's see what are they saying, what do they really want from us. So that is the first thing. That is the first thing, like, what do these people really want from us? So that you read. You also have to know, do they want you to use LLMs? LLMs are learning language models. These are ChatGPTs. So some projects have very strict rules in using learning language models. So you don't want to go and copy paste the whole thing. So because when you do that task, they will definitely pay you. They will not fail to pay you your money, but they will remove you from the project. Yes, you get disqualified. So the first thing one has to do is go through the instructions. So as we're waiting for instructions to load, let's wait for them to load, and you can go to why is it okay, no worries. Okay. Okay. So I can just refresh. But making making $650, as I can, because I saw that you've made that amount of money. Um. Okay. One task $250 on submitting. Yeah, 200. Okay. Wow, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you have it in PDF. You're saying you have it. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. No worries. Yeah. So, uh, yeah. So, um, as I was saying, the first thing is definitely the courses. So you have to check if there are courses, there are guidelines. All those are things that before you even go through the whole process are things that are there. So you make sure that you understand if they are allowing you to use learning language models, such a thing. So let's wait for the instructions to load and let's go through the instructions. Yeah, let's go through the instructions. Yeah, so during the whole process, during the whole thing, one of the things that you need to know is that you have to go through the instructions so that you know if they're allowing you to use LLMs or some, because there are some tasks that are just quite obvious and they want you actually to use ChatGPT to solve that problem. So you have to be in a situation whereby you have to go through the instructions for you to be able to understand what's going on. Yeah, so as we continue, maybe let's refresh. Mm-hmm. I'm getting you. Okay, you can go back. Yeah. Okay, okay, it's okay. We will go through the course and we'll be able to understand. So if there are no instructions, y- yeah. Okay, 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 okay. So let's start with the first course. Select your specialty. Uh, let's start with that. And so these are very things that can really improve. Like right now, you see, you are able to make at least $600. So you can imagine you being able to improve how far that can go. So um, let's wait for the course. So you go through the short course, you open task. So right before going to tasking, go and check if they have guidelines. Go and check if they have any available courses, and if they do have webinars, then you can go for the webinar. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Being able to being able to create very challenging prompts is quite a bigger deal. So being able to do that is quite a bigger deal. So Yeah. So yes, that's another thing also. If you notice in this, you're having challenges with the internet connection, and you are kind of scared that the project might be fumbled, or you might fumble it, or something of that sort. If you download PDF, you can even take some time to go through it, hours before you even go to start tasking. Yeah. So we can open that PDF on. You can just open it here if it's possible. Open it. Yeah. You can. Okay. Yeah. So I think, yeah. So um yes, I've seen it. I've seen it. Okay. Let me wait. Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. If you have sent it, awesome. So I'll just check it out and open it. I can say like these projects. How can I really put it? Most of these projects, I can say like, yeah, I've actually opened it. I've opened it on my end. So I've opened the folder. Yeah. So let me open the folder. So as I was saying, the going through the course is the most important thing. You don't want to skim through, because if you can improve your chances by a bigger margin, then it's much better. So I've opened it on my end. Do not cheat on the prompts. That's the first thing they're saying. That's the first disclaimer. Do do not cheat on the prompts, task, or any course. Pasting it in a prompt will be considered cheating. Cheating will result in immediate project removal. So they don't want to actually. So how the project differs from, they had another project whereby, like, I don't know if you did. Which projects have you done apart from this one? Okay, awesome. Or if this is the first project, so less restrictions, 30 criteria minimum. You only need to stamp one model. So the reason they're saying stamping a model out is making the artificial intelligence think out of, like, because ChatGPT, there's a way it's not like a human being. So you have to go through the courses, and you can see the these are the points, like, one should be able to go through. So the other thing is, let's see. Um, if you have opened it on your end, you can notice how they want you to actually structure the whole thing. They have even included more of a like a map how they want you to structure everything out. So new attempts, fast task throttle, spam check. So whereby, like, let me give you an example. You see, you remember those. There are those, more like, how can I call them? I don't know what I can call them, but way back, people would ask you a crazy question that would make you think out, so that you give out the wrong answer in such a way that they tell you like 2-3 houses are burning. When the ambulance came, which house did it first extinguish the fire? Right? Such a question. And at that moment, you might be tempted to say, "Oh, the first house or the second house," not not having to consider the fact that an ambulance does not really take out fire. So they want you to stamp out the model. So going through the courses is one of the most and the other one is the core requirement, writing prompt. So step 1 of writing prompt, your goal, that's what they're saying, your core, this is a core requirement, so that one is able to make those hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Your goal, your task prompt must be difficult enough to truly challenge the model. So you have to make the model really think. Yeah, so you have to make it really think. That's the first thing. The response should not score above 55%. Yeah, so the response should not score less above that. Why they don't want it to get an A? Because if that happens, then that means the AI was able to go and understand what you are asking, or how you're challenging it to think critically. So the second one is the difficulty should come from reasoning, synthetics, research, and yes, and not from trivia, artificial constraints, or harmful content. Yeah, so that's something to really look into. And of course, they tell you the criteria of being able to know. Okay, so they have examples of good and bad prompts. Examples of good and bad prompts. So let's see the example of a good. Okay, this is an example of a bad prompt. If you can keep scrolling on your end, I think page number 5. If you keep scrolling on your end, I think page number 5. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Upcoming project. Okay, let me go back. Just a minute. Let me reconnect. Okay, but you can continue. You are saying something. Yeah. Okay. So there are 2 upcoming projects. I can see here there are 2 upcoming projects. You've already made this amount. Yeah. It is allowed. You can go through all projects. That's why they have put them there. Yeah. So it's something that is actually allowed. Yeah. No worries. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. yeah, yeah. So, yeah, okay, so I get it. But at least you understand what it really, you understand how to actually be able to position yourself so that you don't miss the opportunity. Um, and going through the courses is very, very, very important. So, um, they yes. So they had two examples. The bad prompt is, what are the three best movies of 2022? Best is a vague, and so the reason this is a bad prompt, yeah, best is a vague and impossible to evaluate, since everyone may say this is the best. This is the best. A good prompt has to be very detailed and very specific. Yeah, 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 yeah. So being able to, so which movies released in 2022 received the highest critical acclaim for cinematography according to major. So this one is very specific, so it's very, like, you will definitely have one answer. In short, they want a prompt that has one answer, but when you ask ChatGPT, it might give you a different answer, right? So your prompts also will score how good they were. They will get a score on it, and how it reacted, then they give the AI the score. So that's why you should not get 55 and above, right? So how good your prompt was will be given a score, and how the ChatGPT reacts, or the learning language model, they call it the model, reacts, they should not get above 55%. If it gets less, yes, if it gets less and you get a high mark, then that means you were able to finish the whole thing. So if your responses, if you are working on a project and your responses score a 0 0, then that what will happen with time, that account will be dormant. They will never ever, yes, that account will be no dormant. Yeah, 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 yeah. You don't include the negative or something that is erotic or harmful on your prompt. So you have to know how to structure them, and that's why the course is very, very, very important. Yeah, yeah, y- y- yeah, yeah, yeah. So those are those are some of the things that one really could, how can I put it, one could really, you have to, there are so many factors to consider. If you look at this account, you're going to notice, like, this is such a huge opportunity, because if one task one is really being given this amount, you can imagine if you really performed well, how it could end up. So yeah, so going through the courses, going through the guidelines, understanding, so that you're not learning these things mid tasking. Because if you learn these things mid tasking, then you're going to fumble that account. You're going to be scared. You're going to fumble that account definitely. Yeah, 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 So these are some of the things to really consider. So I'd want to challenge you. Want to challenge you to go through the whole go through the whole the PDF, understand all these rules and everything, and then when you start tasking, then that's the moment you can apply everything that you have learned, and you're going to actually see so much improvement. So the first thing is you go through the whole course. Just go through it, just reading it, understanding it. You can just even take an hour to just go through it. So the moment you start now tasking, then you're in a good place, you know. So that's the only, I can say that's one of the best ways of not fumbling the bag, because remember, doing the task is not the challenge, because the task is already here. Being called again to do the task is where the challenge is. Being called back again. You shouldn't fail so much. That's one thing. If let's say an account is new and you can see this account is paying quite a good money, so if the account is new, what they do, they give you better incentives during the whole process, during the whole initial process. But what they're really doing is they're trying to see if this person is that person, you know. They want to really measure the intellect. So you might be given even 5 or even 10 tasks, but with time you're going to start noticing, wait, this is not, the account is not like the way I started. It's not like that. It's not like the way I started. And you start noticing that you barely get tasks. The ones that you're given are very short, and then another thing will change. The amount of money will change, because you can see this one is $67 per task. So with time, if you fail so much, you start receiving tasks of the caliber of like probably $25. Then so when you perform poorly, then even the heavy projects will not be coming your way. But one of the best things to actually prepare, because not even now, even for future, because what these platforms are doing is the same across the board, Outlier, all those platforms. So being able to train yourself to know how to prompt, being able to know how to prompt, being able to know how to read the rules, taking your time, so that when you're tasking, because I did this too. I had an account and actually fumbled the account whereby I was going to pause, going to learn the guidelines mid-tasking. Mid-tasking. So you don't want that. So I'm challenging you to go through it, and if you're down for it and everything, you're ready, then we could all start tasking. I can go through it even on my end as well. So when you're done and everything, then you'll be ready to be able to understand everything that is required from you. Okay, then. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so the other thing is also you can go to the projects and everything. You can see these are previous started. you can go back to the projects that you have already done and actually see where you went wrong as well. But yeah, for sure. Okay, so just going through the course. So here's also how you actually use AI to write better prompts. Through the same guide that you downloaded as a PDF, you can actually run that PDF on ChatGPT and tell it to teach you to write better prompts. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, let's do it right now. Let's do it right now together. Okay, you can load up the ebook, right? I'm assuming it is on the computer already somewhere. Okay. Okay, let's open the one. Yeah, let's open the one on WhatsApp. Yeah, so I'm saying let's open the one on WhatsApp. Let's open the one on WhatsApp. Yeah. 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 You can so this is what I wanted. So you can, once you take that, once you take the whole thing, the first thing you do is of course download it. The rules that you are given, you can download them. So you can use also ChatGPT in your research, because I know it might feel a little bit overwhelming. It might be it might start feeling like, okay, what is this and everything. So the first thing you can do is load it up on your ChatGPT like this. So let's load it up. Let's go to downloads. So you have to be that guy. Okay, so you tell it this way, right? This is what you want to learn, because you don't want to go through the whole pages. In a few words, tell me what this project is about. This is more like a guide or course, right? To help me task. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. To help me task and complete projects on Outlier. So I just want to make sure that it knows what we are doing. So now you go from tasking alone, the answer, not knowing what to do, to now working with AI, and you have you have more like an assistant that tells you what to do, right? So you want your assistant to go through the whole file. Your assistant in this case is the AI. You want your assistant to go through the whole file and tell you everything, and tell you, okay, so you tell me. So we have already given the answers and everything, so let's see. Hmm. Is about, in a few words, yeah, in a very few words, right? You don't want to. So we have already been told here, um, We've already been told. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So being able to go through it now, most people think of using ChatGPT. We haven't, most majority of people have not advanced to a state whereby they can use it as their genius assistant. You know, yeah. So being able to use it as your genius assistant and asking her everything that you want to learn is definitely the way to go. So we can continue. You can see the phonics project from Outlier is training and evaluating project design to help you create expert level prompts and rubrics that AI test reasoning. So you can see it breaks down. In short, it's a guideline course style project where you write challenging, relevant to your field of expertise. Review AI responses to see if they perform poorly below. So you see now you understand by all that. So you can tell it, assuming I am 10 years old, how can you teach me to write better prompts that are required? Make me better step make me better step by step. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you see, you have to how can I put it, you have to know how to work with AI, right? And the levels of being a very good prompt engineer is not telling ChatGPT, how do you create a resume. Those are like really really basic prompts. You want this person to be like your assistant. You're asking them, tell me about my meeting today. You are asking all sorts of questions and very serious about it. There's no limitations to actually use it. And that's why I was telling you the free version is already so powerful as compared to the paid version. It's just a marketing scheme to make you, because even if you had the paid version and you don't know how to use it, yeah. Yeah, which is awesome, which is very awesome, and you can put it into many use cases. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, awesome. It's okay. So now our prompt has now started working with us, because now we understand the rules, we understand what's going on. So it tells us, choose a real problem you care about. Pick a school, hobby, or community challenge, not trivia. The project wants prompts to make the AI think, not just look up facts, right? you get to understand the whole gist of it. Another thing is ask a thinking question. Make the task require reasoning, comparing, or planning, not what is 2 plus 2. Yeah, right. So strong tasks need research plus reasoning and judgment. So this is this is one of the ways that you really want to be able to use it so that you prepare yourself for such a task. Set the goal clearly. Tell the AI exactly what you want, the outcome. Yes. Who is it for, and any limits, time, budget, tools. Realistic professional style. Add helpful context. Give the yes. They but keep it short. They don't want you to tell it everything. So these are some of the things that really sharpen your brain as well as when you're working on these projects, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation whereby you really don't know what to do. You have been asking for an account. Now that you have an account, you're fumbling it. So you don't want to find yourself in such a situation. So say what the answer should include. List a few must-have, includes, plan, risk, and all that. So with all this said, with all these points, so make it challenging on purpose. So any template you can copy, task, context. So you see, this is come again. Yes. In biology. Now, that is a very important point. You're asking if, since you have already, the account is specialized on biology, do you have to come up with a prompt that, now that is a context we might add here. So that is yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we can go through it, and then at the end of it all, we are going, of course, to add yes. So at the end of it all, we are going to add that. So you can see this is a template you can follow. Task, context, what to produce, must include, limits, how to check it. So this can be a very good guide in your mind to actually be able to come up with such challenge. Yeah, so another thing is a bad example. Tell me about recycling. Too broad, simple. Better. Design a recycling plan for our class party. Use only items kids can get at home. Make 1 week schedule. It will cost under $10, and explain how you will make. Now you have already given it a challenge. The fact that you have said, so this right here is very important. This small the small map right here. It's very, very, very important, because this small map is very important because it tells you the context, the task, context. You tell plan this, or how it's just something. With time, you're just going to understand it fully to the max, but just showing you how to use it. So you can see here the design a recycling plan for our class party. Use only items kids can get at home. Make 1 week schedule. List cost under $10. An example how we will measure success. This is very important. Like 0% trash reduced. Clear goal, and it's super just straight to the point. So you can see 5-minute practice they are giving you. Pick a topic you like, sports, science, and that's where we add the context. this is where we add the context, right? So we tell it our. So this is where we add the context. With this, what we're going to type our specialization is on biology. Now you get the context. So tell it that way. Now you get the context. And another thing, I just wanted to remind you, one really does not have to, if you go back here to this, you do not have to, you don't need really to have ChatGPT, because on Playground they will bring a feature called enablement. In that feature, it will have inbuilt ChatGPT. This is it, yeah. So when you have an account with these people, you don't need to pay for ChatGPT, right? So yes. So they have an inbuilt tool. This called the Playground. So you don't need a ChatGPT. You just need the Playground. This new inbuilt tool really comes through. So that is something to note. Even if you have an account that is not working, right? It will always have the ChatGPT in it. So you're in a position whereby you can actually go about it. So just something to take note of, so that you don't, at least you don't really stress about it, right? So going back to our ChatGPT, before as we're preparing to do this task, all these things are things that you can go check, scrutinize the whole projects that you have ever done, see how you could have done it better, go through the whole thing, so that you're ready for the whole challenge. So coming back to our ChatGPT, so you can see after using, so this is another one. You will go through everything. So coming back here to our ChatGPT, you can see we have added the context. So always treat ChatGPT like, people think AI is like that thing that's going to go to the market, pick some fruits, come back home, chop it up, cook it for you, then feed you. Then it's more like you cooking your best meals with the help of ChatGPT to give you recipes, right? So pick a real, choose a topic that makes you think, not just remember. Good. How could a community restore a polluted river ecosystem? Bad. What is photosynthesis? Right. So because like this one is like, how could a community really restore? And you can even give so much context into it, and also tell it how many days it could take, right? So you can think of real life problems as well, like the way it was telling us, not just not just something out of the blue, not a trivia, something really real. So you can think of real situations and then apply them to this. So make it thinking, make it a thinking task. Ask something that needs explaining, comparing, or designing. For example, design an experiment to test how light color affects plant growth. That has more context, right? 3 is context. Add a few facts so that AI knows what's going on. A student A student team is growing beans plants in a classroom with lamps or different colors. So step 4, say what you want as a result. Write a hypothesis material. Hypothesis is like more of like experimental materials, method, and how results will be measured. Make it real. So let's see how they structure the whole thing. So let's see. We can say I like this, but I want to dive into complex but easy prompts to help me break the model. Yeah, so you need at least. Awesome, that's exactly the right attitude. In phonics, they're trying to break the model by giving it biology problems that look easy at first but secretly demanded deep thinking, reasoning, and synthesis. So if you scroll down, what break the model really means. You want to trick a model to showing it doesn't really understand biology reasoning. So things like applying concepts, not memorizing them, handling conflict data, reasoning. So let's see an example. I know they do have an example. Start. So they have here an example that can break. So they have actually come up with a task. 2 parents with normal vision have a child who is colorblind. Design a short explanation on how this is possible using. Okay, yeah. So twist is ask the model to explain what would change if the color blind child were female or instead of male, like just breaking it. The other one is, okay, they do have another prompt here. They're saying imagine a park wants to increase bird population by planting more trees. However, doing so will reduce the open grass area that local rabbits need. Design a balanced plan. This is a task. Twist is the park has only 1,000. So you can even add twist and everything. White breaks. So they are saying the park has only 1,000 and one season. So the AI, why it breaks models? The AI must combine biology, food chain, and everything to actually make the model break. But now you're understanding the whole thing, right? Like how broad it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 If it fails, you're on the right track. Your work there is to make it fail, but not make it. Yeah. Your work is to make it fail, but not make it fail with unreasonable facts. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. 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 Well, it's not a challenge. That's not a challenge. What would help you is you can use ChatGPT to help you figure out the questions, but change the context. For example, here, instead of saying imagine a park, you can say imagine a national park wants to increase. You can change. You can say caterpillars population by planting more trees. However, doing so will reduce the open grassy area that. Then you can think of something other animals and include it. You can just change the context, but you can. Yes. Yes, so let's if you're tasking right now and you bump into a certain question, instead of you really panicking, you can build your small model and you tell ChatGPT, this is a question I've just been asked right now, and this is my response. Can you make it a little bit more complex and give me different variation according to this chat thread? You can use this according to this chat thread, and it will now, whatever you put out will be easy, but then again it will be modified really really easy. Yeah, so you can see why it will make the AI must combine biology, food chain, habitat, and economics, logistics model, often oversimplified. They are oversimplified, but they are very very things that really makes you think. So you can see here they also have another one: create an experiment to test whether bacteria